Right now, you are surrounded by things that do not exist. The country you live in, the company you work for, the money in your pocket, none of them are real. You cannot touch a nation. You cannot photograph a law. You have never met the economy. Here's a fun test. Try to show Tuesday to a dog. Try to explain the weekend to a cat. Good luck. And yet these invisible things run your entire life. And that is exactly why you rule this planet. This is the human code. File 1. Why you believe in things that don't exist. Part 1. The trick. 70,000 years ago, something strange switched on inside the human brain. Scientists call it the cognitive revolution. Neanderthals had bigger brains than us. Stronger bodies too. They're gone. We're everywhere. So what do we have? For 2 million years, our ancestors made the same stone tools, over and over. Then suddenly, art, jewelry, boats, gods, everywhere at once. Not muscles, not speed, something weirder. We started talking about things that are not there. Every animal can signal danger. Careful, lion. Only a human can say, the lion is the guardian spirit of our tribe. Language was the launch pad. From about 40 basic sounds, you can build infinite sentences, including sentences about things nobody has ever seen. Watch 2 children play. The floor is lava. No animal on Earth understands that game. Every human 3-year-old does. And that game is training. Your brain runs fiction like a flight simulator, testing worlds that do not exist yet, safely. Sounds useless? It is the most powerful trick in biological history. Let me show you why. Part 2. The monkey test. As the historian Yuval Harari puts it, you will never convince a monkey to hand over his banana by promising him unlimited bananas in monkey heaven. Monkeys deal strictly in reality. 1 banana now beats infinite imaginary bananas. Smart, right? Wrong, because that monkey will never build a cathedral, never fund a pension, never launch anything into space. The pyramids were built on belief. So is your pension fund. Same code, different century. A medieval farmer gave 1/10 of his harvest to a building for 1,000 years. Belief is the oldest crowdfunding in history. Every big thing our species has ever done required thousands of strangers believing the same story at the same time. Part 3. Invisible giants. Try this right now. Point at a company. Go ahead. The building? That's just real estate. The workers? They can all quit tomorrow. Burn the offices. Replace the boss. Fire everyone. The company still exists, because it never physically existed at all. The most valuable company on Earth is not its glass buildings, not its phones, not even its people. It is a story worth trillions. Even the law admits it. Companies are literally called legal persons. Persons, a character in a story with a bank account. It lives in a shared agreement, written on paper, that judges, banks, and you quietly agree to keep believing. Nations run on the same engine. Borders are stories drawn on maps. Powerful stories. People live and die for them. Fly over a border at night and look down. There is no line on the ground. The line lives in 8 billion heads. Your passport is a little book of stories. Try crossing an invisible line without it, and watch the stories become very, very real. And no, none of this is a scam. It's a technology. The most successful social technology ever invented. Part 4. The magic number. Here is the exact problem stories solve. Your brain can only truly know about 150 people. It's called Dunbar's number. Below 150, gossip is enough. Everyone knows who is lazy, who lies, who to trust. No story needed. That is why small villages feel different. Your brain evolved for exactly that size. Everything bigger runs on software. But a city of 1 million strangers? Gossip breaks. Trust breaks. Unless everyone believes in the same invisible things. 10,000 soldiers obey one general. Not because he is strong, because everyone believes in the ranks on his shoulders. Strip away the uniforms, and an army is just thousands of young men standing in a field. The uniform is a story you can wear. Money, laws, gods, brands, football clubs, different costumes. Same trick. Strangers cooperating through shared fiction. You have never tasted a brand, yet you will pay triple for the story wrapped around the same sneaker. Diamonds? Not rare at all. One brilliant ad campaign in 1947 turned a shiny rock into forever. A diamond is forever. For words, the stone never changed. The story did, and an entire industry was born. Next time you see 50,000 strangers singing in a stadium, remember, that is the cognitive revolution, still running. Part 5. The paper test. Now, take out a banknote. Really look at it. Cotton, paper, ink. Maybe 20 cents of material. Hand it to a total stranger, and they will give you real coffee, real bread, real hours of their one life. Why? Oh, and it gets better. Most money today is not even paper. It is numbers on a server, a story stored in electricity. Because money is the one story everyone believes. Christians and atheists argue about God. Nobody argues about the dollar. Your great-great-grandparents didn't trust paper. They wanted gold. But gold is just a shinier chapter of the same story. And when people stop believing, even for 1 week, banks collapse. That is what a financial crisis is. A story wobbling. A bank run is exactly this. Too many people asking, at the same time, wait, is the story still true? Money is, as Harari calls it, the greatest system of mutual trust ever devised. We will open that file soon. It gets stranger. Part 6. The code is still running. Human rights, equality, justice, also stories. You will not find them inside an atom or written in your DNA. And that is not depressing. It is the best news in history. Because stories can be rewritten. Slavery was a story. We rewrote it. A century ago, half of humanity was not allowed to vote. That was not fixed by force. It was fixed by a better story, told louder. Every vote, every constitution, every border that ever moved. Not moved by muscles. Moved by new stories beating old ones. But here is the twist of our century. For 70,000 years, humans were the only storytellers on this planet. Now machines tell stories too. Ads written for you alone. News chosen for your eyes only. The code that built us has a second author. Look at your phone tonight. Every feed is a stream of stories, picked by an algorithm that knows exactly which ones you cannot resist. What happens when the stories start telling us? That is not this file. But trust me, it is coming. 8 billion people. One species. Held together not by chains and not by instinct. By stories. That is the human code. 70,000 years ago, around a fire, someone told the first story bigger than a lion. Tonight, you are living inside thousands of them. This was the human code, file 1. Next file. The worst deal in human history. Subscribe. Your brain will thank you.